Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the second video on the Mahatma Gandhi series 10 GK about Mahatma Gandhi. 4 points have been covered in the previous video. Now we will continue from the next fact. So let us start. 10 GK Mahatma Gandhi. The fifth GK point is Mohandas to Mahatma. Mohandas to Mahatma means how Mohandas Gandhi became Mahatma Gandhi. This is a 6 year, 7 year journey in which we will see that a lot of things change around the world and in India, and of course, in the life of the Mahatma. So, as we all know, on 9th of January 1915, Mohandas Gandhi, along with his wife Kasturba Gandhi, returned to India. Mohandas arrived in the middle of the decade of a transition in India. What is a decade of transition? Decade of transition means a period in the history of the world when everything was in a transitional state. The World War One, that is the Great War, was going on, and the world was taking a turn towards modern life. Politics in India was also changing. The old guard, that is the founders of the Indian National Congress, were getting old, and the new ones were taking over. Mainly, they were called extremists. Gandhi was received warmly in Bombay, and from there he went to Pune in order to meet his political guru, Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Well, if you have seen the movie Gandhi, you would have seen Gopal Krishna Gokhale being portrayed as a frail old man. But he was not a frail old man. He was only 3 years older than Mohandas Gandhi. But he was sick. When Gandhi arrived in Pune, Gopal Krishna Gokhale took a promise that Gandhi would travel India for a period of 1 year. This will be a period of probation in which he asked Gandhi not to express his views publicly. Gandhi agreed and went to visit his relatives in Porobandar and Rajkot. Some of his relatives were with him as the Phoenix family in South Africa, and they also returned to India. Now, after visiting his other relatives in Porbandar and Rajkot, Gandhi went to Shanti Niketan, which is 150 kilometers north of Calcutta in the Birbhum district, to join his Phoenix family and Kasturba. On 6th of March 1915, Mohandas Gandhi met Rabindranath Tagore for the first time. C.F. Andrews also accompanied Mohandas. Now, who is C.F. Andrews? Charles Freer Andrews, or he was affectionately called Christ's faithful apostle by Mohandas, was one of the good friends that Gandhi had. He was a Christian missionary, an educator, and a social reformer who was a close friend of Rabindranath Tagore and Mahatma Gandhi. And he also was the one who convinced Gandhi to return to India from South Africa. C.F. Andrews was also nicknamed Deen Bandhu, that is, friend of the poor. When Gandhi was in Shanti Niketan, he got the sad news that Gopal Krishna Gokhale had passed away in Bombay. Gandhi was devastated by the news of Gokhale's demise as he was feeling orphaned by the passing of his political guru. So, as a tribute to his political mentor, Gandhi decided to go barefoot for 1 year. As Gopal Krishna Gokhale had asked Gandhi to travel India to know India before jumping in the political bandwagon, Gandhi attended the Mahakumbh, which was held at Haridwar in 1915 with his Phoenix family and his wife. Now, what is the Mahakumbh? Mahakumbh is organized every 12 years at Haridwar, Nasik, Ujjain, or Prayagraj. It is held when Jupiter enters the zodiac sign of Aquarius and Sun enters the zodiac sign of Aries. While attending the Mahakumbh, Gandhi was appalled by the fact that so much unhygienic conditions prevailed in India during such a large gathering. Due to this, severe epidemics also struck, like in 1915 at the Mahakumbh in Haridwar, approximately 90,000 people died of cholera. The 1915 Haridwar Mahakumbh was also important because the Akhil Bharat Hindu Mahasabha, that is, the All India Hindu Grand Assembly, which is a political party, also came into being at that very moment. On 25th of May 1915, Gandhi established an ashram, which was his first in India, at Kochrab village in Gujarat. In Kochrab village, the Phoenix family practiced self-sufficiency and satyagrah. Swadesi was also practiced over there. Social work like upliftment of the poor, rehabilitation of women, and proper treatment with the untouchables, with proper education and sanitation, were the practices of that ashram. In February 1916, a landmark event happened when Mohandas Gandhi was invited to speak at the laying of the foundation stone at the Banaras Hindu University. 1 year had passed, and as per Gokhale's instructions, Gandhi never gave any public speeches. This was the first time Mohandas Gandhi was speaking in India, and the audience was grand. The Viceroy Lord Hardinge laid the foundation of the Banaras Hindu University. This grand event was attended by Madan Mohan Malviya, the founder of the Banaras Hindu University, Srimati Annie Besant, J.C. Bose, the great scientist, C.V. Raman, the Nobel laureate, and the most important educated people of India, which included members of the Congress Party, many business people, and all the elites of India were a part of this gathering. Gandhi's first public speech in India was an eye opener for many, as he was very outspoken, during which he spared no one in detailing the poor condition of India. According to Gandhi, India was not ready for self governance, as India was impoverished, had unhygienic conditions, and the British system was better in tackling all these evils of India. During his speech, Srimati Annie Besant also interrupted Gandhi, but Gandhi would go on speaking as the people were applauding the fact that a person of Indian origin was standing and saying the truth. Now, between 1916 to 1918, Gandhi was not active in politics in India because his ideals and his way of doing things did not quite fit in with those of the two dominant groups in the country at that time, that is, the Indian National Congress and the All India Muslim League. Srimati Annie Besant, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and Muhammad Ali Jinnah were the main players in the Indian political field at that time. Mohandas Gandhi did not participate in the Home Rule movement and the negotiations of the Lucknow Pact. Now, what was the Home Rule movement? The Home Rule movement was started in India in April 1916 at Belgaum Congress session by Bal Gangadhar Tilak and in September 1916 by Srimati Annie Besant in Adyar, Madras. While Tilak's Home Rule League worked in areas like Maharashtra and central provinces, Annie Besant's league worked in the rest of India. Now, what is Home Rule? Home Rule means self governance. But Gandhi thought that India was not ready for self governance at this time. Now, what is the Lucknow Pact? The Lucknow session of the Indian National Congress, which was presided by Ambika Charan Mazumdar, was special in many ways. Firstly, this session brought about the moderates and extremists in the Congress on a common platform after nearly a decade. Due to the efforts of Srimati Annie Besant, the second importance of the Lucknow session of 1916 was the fact that All India Muslim League signed a historical pact with Indian National Congress, which is called the Lucknow Pact. The Lucknow Pact was signed in the Rifa-e-Aam Club in Lucknow between the Indian National Congress and the Muslim League. According to the Lucknow Pact, India will have self-governance and Muslims will be given one-third representation in the central government with separate electorates for all communities until a community demanded joint electorates. So, this is a very important event in the history of India's freedom struggle. Gandhi attended the Lucknow Pact, but he was not a part of the negotiations of the Lucknow Pact. While Gandhi was not a part of these two historic moments, he was busy exploring India. And while doing so, he came across a fact of indentured labor. Now, what is indentured labor? Indentured labor or servitude is when someone is signed or forced into a contract to work without pay for the owner of the indenture for a specified period of time. By this contract, the employer can also sell the labor to a third party. Now, this was a new form of slavery which the British had started in all its colonies, particularly in India. As we all know, the British had abolished slavery in its empire in 1834. So, indentured labor was the new kind of slavery that they started. This was the first time Gandhi got a full public support, which in turn forced the government to announce that indentured labor would be stopped before July 31st, 1917. This was a very historic moment for Mohandas Gandhi. While Mohandas was in Calcutta, Sri Rajkumar Shukla and Sant Raut persuaded Gandhi to come to Champaran so as to see the plight of the farmers who were oppressed by the British and were made to grow indigo without barely given any payment for it. Gandhi went to Champaran and on 19th April 1917 he organized his first satyagraha on Indian soil, which is a landmark event in Champaran for the poor farmers. These farmers were forced to grow indigo fera, which is a cash crop, instead of food crops. Now, what does the indigo fera do? Indigo fera is a cash crop which needs high amounts of water, and after it is harvested, it leaves the soil infertile. The local farmers were uneducated, and because of that, they were forced to grow this cash crop in lieu of a more hefty sum of money which they never received as payment. The British had adopted the Teen Katia Padati, the Teen Katia principle, that is, 3 by 20th part of the farmland was to be used to produce indigo fera. After harvesting, this 3 by 20th part of the farmland became barren. And so, in the next season, they grew in some other portion of their land. Slowly, their whole farmland was barren. When Gandhi visited this area, he became aware of the fact that illiteracy was the root cause of the suffering of these farmers and not the British policy. Gandhi decided to establish several schools in this area so as to educate the children and the people of Champaran. Acharya Kripalani, Rajendra Prasad, and a young Jawaharlal Nehru were there with Gandhi during this movement. The Champaran Agrarian Act was passed, which was due to the numerous protests conducted by Gandhi in a peaceful manner. Peaceful manner, that is, it was a satyagraha by which the government was forced to pass the Champaran Agrarian Act. Proper compensation was given to the farmers who had more control over what they will farm, and the poor farmers were now following proper hygiene and given ample education by the efforts of Mohandas and its subordinates. During this Champaran movement, Gandhi stayed with Sant Raut, and Sant Raut started calling Mohandas Bapu. Mohandas was called Bapu and Kasturba was called Ba in the Phoenix farm in South Africa also, and Kochrab ashram also. Sant Raut also lovingly called Gandhi Bapu, which was adopted by many people over there. Sant Raut also called Gandhi a Mahatma, which later on became synonymous with Mohandas Gandhi. After the success of the Champaran Satyagraha, Sri Rabindranath Tagore started calling Mohandas as Mahatma. Thus, he made it popular. After the Champaran Satyagraha, Gandhi came back to Kochrab, and when he went there, he saw that the ashram was suffering from plague because within 2 years of its establishment, the ashram was relocated to a newer site on the banks of the Sabarmati in Ahmedabad. This plague in Kochra was due to the fact that there was heavy flooding in Gujarat in that year, and after the flooding, the soil was eroded because of the water, which led to famine and plague and subsequently cholera. In March 1918, Gandhi started a satyagraha for the Ahmedabad textile mill workers. Here, Gandhi held a fast until death for the first time in India, which lasted for 3 days before the mill owners agreed to give 35% bonus to the mill workers. After the Ahmedabad textile mill workers' successful campaign, the Kheda district of Gujarat, which was also ravaged by floods, was also suffering from cholera. Only 25% of the crops were left standing, but the taxes were very heavy. and the Britishers did not exempt them. Gandhi conducted a satyagraha, which was his second, on 22nd March 1918 against the British. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was also a part of this satyagraha with Mahatma Gandhi. The Britishers were astonished by the unity and discipline of the farmers in this peaceful protest against the British, so they had to bow down and exempt the tax for 2 years. This was a very successful satyagraha of Mahatma Gandhi. The Great War was going on, and there was heavy casualty on the British and French as the Russians were no longer a part of the war. The Russians were their allies, but due to the Bolshevik Revolution, the Tsar was removed and a communist party came into power in Russia. Germans were winning the war, and Viceroy Chelmsford organized a war conference in April 1918 so as to ask the Indian leaders for support in recruiting Indians for the war. Gandhi approved of the fact and he wanted Indians to participate for the British in the war. It was a contradiction for Mahatma Gandhi, who was a propagator of non-violence, to go from village to village asking the villagers to join the British army and help them in the war effort. Because of this act, the villagers nicknamed Gandhi as Bharti Karne Wala Sergeant. Due to his propagation from village to village, Gandhi was suffering from ill health and had to take a break. The Anarchical and Revolutionary Crimes Act of 1919, which is popularly known as the Rowlatt Act, or Indians called it the Black Act, was passed on 21st March 1919. Sir Sidney Rowlatt, who was the head of this committee, recommended that the police should be given enormous powers so as to arrest any person without any reason whatsoever. This was done because of the fact that the British knew that Germans were pumping money in the political scene of India in certain political parties, which were a major player in areas like Punjab and Maharashtra. When Gandhi came to know about this act, he was very skeptical about it. Muhammad Ali Jinnah resigned from the Imperial Legislative Council in protest of this Black Act. Rowlatt Act ushered in the Gandhi era in Indian politics. This satyagraha brought Gandhi to the mainstream of Indian struggle for independence. On 6th of April 1919, a strike was conducted in the form of civil disobedience so as to oppose the Black Act, but violence broke out in Punjab, which made Gandhi, who was an advocate of non-violence, think about suspending his satyagraha. Sri Saifuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal, who were two major leaders of Punjab's Indian National Congress, were arrested in Amritsar and were transferred to Dharamshala on 10th of April 1919. Gandhi, who was observing a 3-day fast to atone for his Himalayan miscalculation. What was his Himalayan miscalculation? Well, according to Gandhi, India was not ready for such a mass movement because violence had broke out and people were getting killed. But on 13th of April 1919, the day of the Baisakhi festival, a large gathering of people at the Jallianwala Bagh were performing a peaceful protest against the arrest and deportation of Sri Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal. Brigadier General Reginald Dyer came with his army, armed, and stood in the only entry exit point of the Jallianwala Bagh and ordered his army to fire 1,650 rounds of bullets, which killed nearly 1,000 men, women, and children, and around 1,400 people were injured. Sri Rabindranath Tagore gave up his knighthood as a protest against this brutal massacre of Indians by the hands of the British. The British had established a Hunter Committee which investigated about the happenings of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. According to the Hunter Committee, General Dyer was performing his duties. Indians, on the other hand, made a committee in which Gandhi was also a part so as to oppose the Hunter Committee's report. By studying the Hunter Committee's report, Gandhi concluded that the system of governance in India by the British is not proper and has to be mended. Gandhi knew for a fact that Hindu Muslim cooperation was the most necessary thing for political progress against the British in India. Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, who founded the Khilafat movement, observed 17th October 1919 as a Khilafat Day in Lucknow. Now, what is the Khilafat movement? Khilafat movement was started by Muslim Sunnis opposing the fact that the Khalifa, who is the spiritual leader of the Muslims, was removed from the Ottoman Empire, which was defeated in the Great War by the Britishers and their allies. Gandhi supported the Khilafat movement, but certain Hindu leaders of India did not appreciate this work of Gandhi. In his book called The Hind Swaraj, that is the Indian Home Rule, which he had written on his way back from London to South Africa in 1909, Gandhi had declared that the British rule in India was established and it only survived because of the cooperation of the Indians. Now, according to Gandhi, if the Indians did not cooperate, the British Raj will fall and Swaraj will be established. On 1st of August 1920, Lord Chelmsford, who was the Viceroy of India at that time, received a letter from Mohandas Gandhi in which a non cooperation campaign was suggested. Gandhi also returned the Kaisar-e-Hind Gold Medal, which he had been awarded in 1915 due to his work done during the Boer War and the Zulu War for the Britishers. On 4th of September 1920, the non-cooperation movement was launched by the Indian National Congress under the leadership of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Gandhi advocated a triple boycott, that is, a boycott of courts, colleges, and schools. Now the people were free of these, so they could have established their own schools, colleges, and courts, and the power of the Britishers would collapse at once. Gandhi traveled far and wide by propagating his ideals of nonviolence and asking Indians to perform non cooperation. Many students left their schools and colleges. Many officers resigned from their posts which they held in the government departments, and the boycott movement gained momentum. To millions of Indians, Gandhi was now becoming an incarnation of God. But Gandhi knew that with great power comes great responsibility. On 22nd September 1921, at Madurai, a landmark event happened which made Gandhi take a momentous decision to change his attire forever from the elaborate Gujarati attire. That is, he wore a turban, a coat, and a dhoti. He decided to wear a dhoti and a shawl only, that is, a langoti. Langoti meaning loincloth. This came about because Gandhi was so much affected by India's poverty that while traveling from Madras to Madurai, he saw many people just wearing tattered loincloth, and he knew that they were not even able to afford khadi. This shedding of attire of the Mahatma was also a symbolic to the movement he was leading, that is the non-cooperation movement. In the non-cooperation movement, boycotting foreign cloth and manufacturing khadi was advocated. Now this completes the second video on the series of Mahatma Gandhi. As we have seen, Mohandas now became Mahatma. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so as to get further notifications. Stay safe.